in this podcast episode, I'm teaming up with my student Patricia Cleary from Seattle. And she says that I've helped her stay focused and show up for the mandolin every day. But for me, it is even cooler hearing how at a family gathering, she brought out the mandolins and she captured their attention, the way she puts it. And it's just sort of an amazing thing for a teacher, hearing how the student is bringing their music and their passion for the mandolin and sharing it with other people. It's just a nice ripple effect in this, if you see what I mean from a teacher point of view. But anyway, I think you should take a listen to this and be inspired by Patricia and her mandolin story. And also know that there is a video version of this podcast episode inside Mandolin Secrets Academy. And if you also feel that you would like my personal guidance and input for your mandolin progress, just send me a note and an email or reach out to me in any way and we can make it happen. Here we go. Have a listen to Patricia and her story. Hey there, music makers. I'm Magnus, and welcome to the Mandolin Secrets podcast. This is the place to get tips, inspiration, and stories that supports you on your musical journey. Thank you so much for tuning in, and just know you can go to mandolinsecrets.com/podcast for more information on how to keep up with the show and also find all previous episodes. Now, let's get this episode rolling. So, today I got Patricia Cleary with me, mandolin player from Seattle. How are you doing, Patricia?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Magnus. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And Patricia, she's a member of Mandolin Secrets Academy, but also a private student of me. And so first off, Patricia, could you just tell us a little bit about your background and your mandolin playing, just to get the idea?
Yeah, sure. So the idea to play the mandolin was during COVID. And I heard Magnus play Silent Night, and I just absolutely fell in love with the instrument. I had listened to the mandolin before, Celtic music. My parents are from Ireland, so grew up with a lot of Irish music. I did play the flute for a while, but no stringed instruments. So a little bit intimidated by it, but I think my love for the music and the way it sounded prompted me to sign up for Mandolin Secrets. And one thing led to another. And I bought my first mandolin, which was very cheap. It was $100 mandolin. And then my husband noticed that I was really taken to it and spending a lot of time trying to learn it. So he upgraded me to a Canadian mandolin, but they no longer make that style mandolin, but that's the one that I have right now. And that's where I'm at.
That sounds cool. And just of curiosity, you mentioned there that you find me playing Silent Night or anything, but since there are also a lot of other online resources for mandolin playing, why did you choose to go with us?
I actually listened to different styles of mandolin playing, and I don't know, the way that you play the mandolin, Magnus, it just spoke to me. It was very light. It was very positive. I just like the melody, the melodic sound. Your style of playing the mandolin is beautiful. And I listened to a little bit more of some of the stuff that you've written, like Minos Vals and the Waltz. And it's just, I've never heard anything like that before. I like bluegrass, I like Celtic, but that was a little different. So I was curious about it. And I like the format of Mandolin Secrets. It breaks it down for somebody like me who's a beginner. an absolute beginner. But I think I can graduate to beginner now. I've learned a few
Yeah,
melodies, so yeah.
absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'm I'm flattered to hear you like the style of my playing and all that.
Mm.
And yeah, you also like saying that you entered as an absolute beginner and all that, and now you've been doing this for a while, and we've also been working like on me privately. Is there any like specific things that you feel that you have improved during our time together? Something that you can mention?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing before having lessons with you, Magnus, was that I felt like my playing was very robotic,
Mhm.
very tense, just choppy, not in a good way, but in a way in
Mhm.
which I wasn't spending enough time with each note. I know there's fast and there's slow playing, but you have
Yeah.
to spend that time with each note and the up and the downstroke. Um,
Hmm.
and you taught me how to do that, how to pay attention to the tenseness in my body and then the way you're showing up to the mandolin, the importance of the up and down stroke. That all
Hmm.
makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I do remember us sorting out a little bit of pick directions and all that, but you're very responsive, I would say, to that kind of input. Yeah, and also as you said, one of the things that I we've been working on is to make the mandolin playing singable and like to maybe your way of putting it less robotic maybe. But
Mhm.
yeah. Mm. So also I since we've been working on like personally, you and me, I also really liked your way of taking advantage of like video exchange kind of features. How would you, is the video exchange something that you found
Yeah, I
useful?
was surprised that I did because I typically don't like videotaping myself.
Mm-hmm.
And but for the sake of improving the mandolin, that's how much I really want to improve on it. I noticed that that was an excellent tool, a great mirror for me to see whether I'm playing it right or not. And so
Mm-hmm.
prior to me sending you a video, I must have just, like a writer just writes and rips up, writes and rips up. I just kept playing, deleting until it was somewhat good enough to send over to you.
Yeah.
Um, and just knowing that, you would be quote unquote grading it, even though you
Yeah.
weren't,
Mm-hmm.
but you were critiquing it, which is what I wanted you to do,
Mm-hmm.
uh, really forced me to show up to it and to give it my best shot each time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I mean that's also one of the benefits I see with video, also for my own needs, but also seeing for the students, because as you mentioned, the first feedback you're getting yourself out of watching it, that
Mhm.
is maybe even well, just as important as the information and feedback I can give you after watching it. So it's a powerful tool, and I really liked to see how you embraced it because I also, as you said, there was a little bit resistance, but then week after week there were one, two, sometimes three videos just coming, and that's been really. I think it's really been speeding up your progress
Mhm.
from doing that. Mm. I was also wondering here, was there like any big concern or something making you very hesitant of getting the one-on-one mentoring from me? It's
Uh,
been it's way back. I mean, it's
oh
months
yeah,
ago now, but if you recall how it was it something really?
yeah. Just I guess just being really self-conscious of being an absolute beginner
Hmm.
and being somewhat embarrassed of
Hmm.
not being a good mandolin player and you being an expert, and not having that music foundation background. Um, but I went for it anyway. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
glad I did. And I also want
yeah.
to say that what also helped me, the videos, but then the play along, like,
Hmm.
on Mandolin Secrets, you have the play along, and I still
Yeah.
go back. I'll revisit some of the melodies that I learned, like Morning Star and or Sailor's Hornpipe, and realize that the importance of knowing the tune in your head. I guess that's what
Hmm.
you're saying about singing it,
Hmm.
really makes a difference in the playing. And for people that have been playing the mandolin, that's an of course. But for me, as an absolute beginner, I didn't quite get that right away. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think also first I just want to. It's really good that you decided to give it a go, even if you felt this. Because it's, I mean, it's often mm, difficult to expose like your weaknesses in some way. And if you felt like here I'm showing my beginner skills to someone more advanced, it's an you got to be well, you got to be brave some way to do it. And I really like it. And also something that comes to my mind now that I remember being a very big focus for you and me getting started was to really get you into the habit of playing the mandolin daily. So that, and maybe so being less concerned of actually what to play or how to play or just getting into it and making it like a daily thing. And I remember you were doing that very with a big persistence and patience. Um, Something that you want to add to that about showing up 15, 20 minutes a day?
Yeah, I think that showing up to something that you really want to do is is really important. So of course there are days where actually there aren't days. I always want to play the mandolin. I was going to say there are days when I just don't want to play it, but there
Hmm.
are days when I feel like I'm not making progress, that I
Yeah.
feel stuck, but I
Hmm.
still want to play it. And
Hmm.
so I think that's like with anything else in life that you show up to, it's not going to be visible, noticeable progress every day, but you're still making progress, sticking
Yeah.
with it and not giving up. And I like to use learning how to play the mandolin, especially at my age in my mid 50s. Learning something new like that is can be applied, like what I'm learning about how to learn how to play the
Hmm.
mandolin. I can apply that to other areas of my life because there's so much
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of sticking with it and being brave, like you said, and not giving
Hmm.
up and just showing up to it.
Yeah. I think that's really well said. And because I mean, for me and for people at their early stage of the journey, it is a slow but steady progress that we're after.
Mm.
It's a long-term game learning to play an instrument. At least if you want to play it well with a grounded kind of feeling to it. So yeah, really good point there. Also a bit curious, if was there anything surprising or something that were exceeded your expectation or anything like that? Going for the mentoring service and working with me.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how non-judgmental you are. And so it made it easier to learn. I also was pleasantly surprised at your focus on making sure that you take deep breaths, that, you recognize the tenseness in your body, because if you're tense in your muscles in your hands, you're going to bring that to your mandolin playing. And how are
Hmm.
you going to improve?
Hmm.
And um, that's such an important technique, like for anything in life. So
Yeah.
that was, and I think about that. And there's
Mhm.
another phrase that you said, quote unquote, even though, like, even though I feel tense right now, I'm going to take a deep breath and show up to my mandolin. Even though
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not good enough to play, I'm still going to play.
Mhm.
So certain things like that that I
Mhm.
learned from you has really helped my mandolin playing.
Yeah, that's great, and I think that's also my approach to this. I mean, I want to the way that I see the mandolin playing fit in my life. It is the mandolin is a good tool for improving other areas of my life as well. And I guess that's also what I'm trying to pass on to my students, like the habits and the way we approach our music and our mandolin playing. It will spill over to other parts of our lives to basically make us more content and better persons in a way. But um, yeah, we could go deeper into that. But yeah, I'm appreciate hearing that you enjoy that part of it. Um, and so, Patricia, where are you at the moment? How does your playing look now, and where are you kind of steering your direction at the moment?
So I'm not too sure where I'm steering my direction, but I do know that I have about 10 melodies that I've memorized and
Mm,
some chords. I'm still working on what I call flow, spending time on each note and but one of my goals was to be able to pick up the mandolin and play, and I'm doing that. And so I feel really good about that. Where it's going to take me, I'm not too sure.
no.
I just love it. And I feel like the mandolin, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but it's like a universe in and of itself. There's so
Mhm.
much to learn,
Yeah,
and um, I'm just
yeah,
going to take it one step at a time and not be overwhelmed with it.
yeah. I have a way of also putting that the way that I feel it, like the deeper we go, the more there is to learn in a way, and it's that's probably applied to a lot of areas in life. I mean,
Mhm.
but that's I think eh, it's not about reaching an end goal. It's really about taking this milestones along the way, and
Mhm.
it's like being on an endless journey in a way. Also, if you don't mind, would I wanted to like ask you like if someone was considering joining Mandolin Secrets Academy or working with me in some way, uh, what would you say to them?
I would say it's worth it. Definitely worth it. You've definitely brought my mandolin playing to the next level. You've in your um, gentle ways, you've helped me really stay focused and show up to my mandolin every day. And because of that, I'm playing it. I'm actually
Yeah.
able to pick up the mandolin and play. And I
Mm,
have 10 or more melodies memorized in my head.
yeah.
Um, and there's so much more to learn.
Mm,
I
that's
would
cool.
recommend it. Mhm.
That's I like that. And I do remember also one of well, I would say like the way that I see it, a milestone in your journey was at some of your family gatherings in the beginning of the summer. I remember someone asked you like, "Oh, Patricia, you play the mandolin. Can you play us a melody?" Or and you
Yeah,
actually played some music for them,
I did.
just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
And
I
that's
captured their attention.
you did.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, capture their attention. Yeah, that's really good.
Mhm.
I mean, that is what happens when we show up with the instrument at hand. Even in our if a instrument case, bringing the mandolin on a train, it can bring people's attention. Just the fact that we are like showing up
Yeah,
as a
and I
music
left it
maker.
in the room, and it was a big family gathering, and people picked it up, and they were
Mm,
curious about it, and
mm,
they played it, or just tried to make some sound out of it, and they thought it was beautiful.
mm. That's perfect.
Mhm.
Well, Patricia, I'm proud of you and your progress, and I'm looking forward following you here the months and years ahead. Is there something else you want to share to the listeners of right here, or like any last thoughts, or happy to wrap it up, or what? How do you
I
feel?
I highly recommend Mandolin Secrets. It's really helped me, the one-on-one with you, Magnus. Really appreciate it. And the mandolin is an instrument in which, for me, it's like you can't be angry or sad playing the mandolin. It's just it evokes so much light and joy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's a great antidepressant. It's a great anti-anxiety. It's just a
it is.
wonderful instrument.
Yeah.
And
It is a jolly instrument to
yeah,
tap into your Irish heritage
the-
there. It's a jolly instrument. Well, thank you so much, Patricia, for sharing your story with us.
well, thank
And
you.
yeah, if people in the community want to reach out to Patricia, I'm sure you can find her in our community.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.